So we need to think about why. Why is this relevant? Like the example I just gave you, that when I went to Maui, there was something big happening in my life. I was liquid and I was powerless, I thought.
What does liquid mean in the context of Buzz's share of Identify in 1985? It means the value in cash or cash equivalents to the owner of those shares. Powerless to the one thing in Buzz's mind, making for everyone the best of the personal identification devices.
So,
good.
I edited it a bunch because I screw up a lot. So I sped it up and just used speed instead of cuts so that it looks smooth, even though you can tell it's speeded up. That way I can get both visual and audio.
So there's a lot of whys at different points, right? In different points chronologically. There are whys when you're at 4 years old. There are whys when you're doing the radio station,
But the only time really for why is current. Then we could contrast it with how I felt about that then, because of it getting lighter in my mind.
Sure.
Gentle on my mind.
Right. So let me think about this, or let me offer this. So, based on what you just said, you said the time for why is current, and you compare that to the past experience. So, those past experiences are points in time, and your perspective of those points in time now are what you want to share with others.
That conclusion is too soon. Back then, I was so unable to use my intellect to persuade someone of the efficacy of my opinion. I had the smarts before, but I didn't have the wisdom until now. And I don't talk so well, which is funny. It's funny because one would guess that being able to talk would be a major contributor to advancing one's opinion.
I got that comment, but I didn't get that comment in the context of the overall project that we're working on. I know it's part of it. And so that's part, and it's an important part. But there's a lot of parts that you have now. And I, being a lumper and not a splitter, I would like to lump more things together of all of the content that you have produced. So I would like to lump a little bit.
The words that I am able to use to tell my story are much better when I listen rather than read. Walt Whitman.
Mm-hmm. And Alex said that in your recent blog. So, and we know that's a couple, that has come up a few times.
So I would suggest that is a connection to these lumps that you are
wanting to have.
Yeah.
And the connection, meaning that's how you can appreciate the lumping process, that it's better for you to hear it than to see it written down.
Bridge between the two lumps. Boom. Bridge.
All right. So what are the two lumps?
brain injury, and the other is adaptation to the brain injury.
Yes.
This is one example of how I am doing this.
What is it? What is the one example?
Reading Walt Whitman, listening to a narration of Leaves of Grass, working with Alex so that I can understand by listening to the spoken words that I write.
Yes.
Everything is better by me leveraging what I have left to build up the rest of what I could be making.
Exclamation on that very last 2 or 3 sentences you just said. Yes, exactly. Now, what we just talked about in those last 3 or 4 sentences is one of those lumps. Okay? But it is a lump that is a little different than the new perspectives, your current, where's your thing? Your current being and how it relates to the past. As to why.
Yeah.
So that's another lump. Okay? So now we're getting the lumps more identified, I think. That's what I was hoping to have. Okay?
Cool. When I edit this, then I really understand, first of all, whether I was getting across, but more than that, it is that I understand what B has come up with thanks to your role, which is, to academic, neuroscience, self-discipline, different things that are different than mine. Because you're very eloquent when you say that to me, especially after we just had a dialogue. Gets because I have to play it over and over again in order to edit out the dead air or the things that are laid up to but don't contribute to the final message.
Yep. Excellent. So we are making progress.
I sure think so. It's electrifying a lot of people at this point. So I'm really happy. Making a dent in the universe. But I digress again and again and again and again. About the right amount of time so I don't drop dead editing. No, that would not be good.
No.
Because I have stuff to do.
Yes. Okay. Then. All right. See ya.
This is Mommy Pumpkin. This is Little Pumpkin, and this is Daddy Pumpkin. And
this is the color of a pumpkin.
And this is
Luna Pumpkin.
And, of course, yours truly, Alex the Hill.